In the great tapestry of history, some threads shine brighter than others. They are the stories of individuals who transcend their time, becoming not just figures of the past, but eternal symbols. Welcome to Mythic Mundi. Today, we journey back to the heart of 12th century China, to a time of profound crisis, unbreakable spirit, and towering tragedy. We explore the life of a man whose name is synonymous with loyalty, a general whose heart beat only for his people, and a hero whose legacy was sealed in sacrifice. This is the story of Yue Fei, the immortal shield of the Song Dynasty. Our story begins not in a golden palace, but in a humble village in Tangyin during the final, tumultuous years of the Northern Song Dynasty. In the year 1103, a child was born, named Yue Fei. Legend tells that at the moment of his birth, a great bird, a roc, flew over his house, and so his parents named him Fei, which means to fly. It was a sign, perhaps, of the heights this child would one day reach, but also of the turbulent winds he would have to navigate. The world Yue Fei was born into was fracturing. To the north, a formidable power was rising, the Jurchen-Jin Dynasty. They were warriors of the steppe, ambitious and relentless. The Song Dynasty, by contrast, was a civilization of immense culture, art, and philosophy, but it was plagued by internal divisions and a military that had lost its edge. Yue Fei grew up listening to the tales of heroic generals from ages past. He possessed a natural strength and a keen intellect, but his greatest attribute was a profound sense of justice, instilled in him by his family. The most defining moment of his youth, the pivot upon which his entire destiny would turn, did not happen on a battlefield. It happened in his own home. As Yue Fei prepared to join the army, his mother, a woman of resolute character, summoned him. She knew the dangers her son would face, not just the enemy's blade, but the temptations of corruption and the whispers of defeatism that plagued the Song court. She took a brush and ink, and then a needle. On her son's back, she meticulously inscribed 4 characters, 4 pillars that would define his life. Jin Zhong Bao Guo. Serve the country with utmost loyalty. This was not merely a tattoo, it was a covenant. It was a weight of honor etched into his very being. Every action he took, every battle he fought, every breath he drew from that day forward would be measured against this sacred oath. Yue Fei's early military career was unremarkable. He was just one of many young men answering the call to defend a crumbling dynasty. He possessed incredible personal prowess. He was a master of the spear, and his archery was said to be unerring. But it was his mind, his understanding of strategy, and, most importantly, his incorruptible character that set him apart. Then the sky fell. In 1127, the unthinkable happened. The event known as the Jingkong Incident unfolded. The Jin armies breached the capital of Kaifeng. They did what no one thought possible. They captured the entire imperial court, including the sitting emperor Qinzong and his father, the retired emperor Huizong. The Northern Song Dynasty was extinguished. The shame was absolute. It was a scar on the soul of the nation. The surviving members of the imperial family fled south, crossing the great Yangtze River to establish a new, precarious capital in Lin'an, which would become the Southern Song Dynasty. For Yue Fei, this was not a political failure. It was a personal catastrophe. His oath, Jin Zhong all Guo now had a singular burning focus: to reclaim the lost northern heartlands and to wash away the humiliation of Jing Kong. But the southern Song court was a place of fear. The new emperor, Emperor Gaozong, was haunted by the fate of his father and brother. His court was dominated by a peace faction led by figures who argued that the Song was too weak, that the Jin were too strong, and that survival meant appeasement. Into this atmosphere of despair stepped Yue Fei. He was different. He did not speak of accommodation, he spoke only of resistance, of duty, of reclaiming that which was lost. His refusal to bow to the prevailing political winds often put him at odds with his superiors. He was outspoken, sometimes to his own detriment. On one occasion, frustrated by the cautious defensive strategies of his commanders, he abandoned his post to appeal directly to the emperor, a severe breach of protocol that saw him stripped of his rank. But Yue Fei was not a man to be deterred. He simply re-enlisted, starting again as a common soldier. His superiors quickly realized that this was no ordinary man. His strategies were brilliant, his courage was infectious, and his loyalty was absolute. Slowly, painfully, he began to win victories. He was not just fighting the Jin, he was fighting the apathy of his own government. It was during these formative campaigns that he began to assemble the force that would become legendary: the Yue Family Army, the Yue Jia-jun. This was not a mere collection of soldiers, it was a new kind of army, forged in Yue Fei's own image. Their code was iron. Yue Fei's personal motto became their creed: "If we freeze to departure, we will not pull down a civilian's house for firewood. Even if we starve, we will not plunder the people." A saying arose among the people: "To shake a mountain is easy. To shake the Yue Family Army is impossible." Yue Fei shared every hardship with his men. He refused to drink from a wine jug if his men only had water. He tended to the sick and honored the fallen, personally seeing to the families of those who did not return. In return, his men gave him something few generals ever truly command: their absolute devotion. They did not fight for the distant, trembling court in Lin'an. They fought for General Yue. With this instrument of righteous will, Yue Fei began to do the impossible. He began to push the Jin back. He launched a series of northern expeditions, campaigns designed not just to defend, but to attack. He understood the Jin's strengths: their heavy cavalry, the iron pagodas that smashed through infantry lines, and he devised the tactics to counter them. He trained his soldiers to work in tandem, using long spears and hooked glaives to strike at the horses' legs, neutralizing the cavalry's charge. He reclaimed city after city. He restored order to lands that had known only chaos for a decade. He was meticulous, a genius of logistics and terrain. Where the Jin advanced like a flood, Yue Fei advanced like the tide, precise and inevitable. With every victory, his legend grew. He became the living embodiment of the Song's resistance. While the politicians in the capital debated the price of peace, Yue Fei was delivering the reality of victory. He was the shield of the dynasty, the spear of the people, and the last, brightest hope for a fractured nation. He was no longer just a man. He was a symbol. And as he prepared his forces for the final, decisive campaign to reclaim the old capital, it seemed that destiny was at last on his side. The year is 1140. The momentum of the war has shifted. Yue Fei, now at the height of his power and prestige, launches his fourth and final northern expedition. This is not a raid. It is not a defensive maneuver. This is the great counteroffensive, the campaign he has planned for a decade. The objective? The heart of the Jin occupation, the old capital, Kaifeng. His Yue Family Army moves with the precision of a master's brushstroke. They are relentless. They are disciplined. They are victorious. The Jin Dynasty, which had viewed the Southern Song as a broken remnant, now faces its greatest crisis. The commander of the Jin forces, Wu Zhu, a formidable warrior in his own right, throws everything he has at Yue Fei. The climax arrives at the Battle of Yancheng. Wu Zhu unleashes his most feared weapon, the iron pagodas and the hooked-together cavalry. Thousands of elite, heavily armored horsemen chained together in ranks to create an unstoppable living wall of steel. It is the tactic that had shattered countless Song armies. But Yue Fei is prepared. He deploys his infantry, armed with the long glaives and spears he designed. He orders them to ignore the riders and focus on the horses. The Yue Family Army stands its ground. The battlefield becomes a grueling contest of discipline versus brute force. The unstoppable Jin cavalry is stopped. Their formations break. The tide of battle turns. Yue Fei, seeing the moment, unleashes his own elite cavalry, led by his own son, Yue Yang. They crash into the disorganized Jin ranks, and the invincible army collapses. It is a stunning, decisive victory. The road to Kaifeng is now open. From the field of his greatest triumph, Yue Fei reportedly declares to his men, "The 10 years of effort we have spent are to be decided in this one action. We are now but steps away from the old capital." The news electrified the Song Empire. The people celebrate in the streets. Refugees from the north believe they will finally go home. Yue Fei's dream, the oath on his back, is on the verge of fulfillment. And it is at this exact moment, the brightest moment of light, that the darkest shadows gather in the capital. Back in Linan, the peace faction is not celebrating. They are terrified. Their leader is the chancellor, Qin Hui. To understand Yue Fei's tragedy, one must understand Qin Hui. He is the antithesis of Yue Fei, a man who believes in pragmatism over ideals, survival over honor. He is convinced that Yue Fei's total victory is actually a danger to the Southern Song. His reasoning is a cold political calculation. If Yue Fei defeats the Jin and recaptures Kaifeng, what happens next? He would inevitably rescue the 2 captured emperors. If the former Emperor Qinsong returned, what would that mean for the current Emperor Gaozong? It would create a legitimacy crisis, potentially plunging the newly stable Southern Song into a civil war. Furthermore, Qin Hui is already in secret negotiations with the Jin. He is offering them peace, a treaty that would solidify the new borders, pay the Jin an annual tribute, and, most importantly, secure Emperor Gaozong's throne. Yue Fei's victory threatens all of it. He is a hero, but he is a hero who has become inconvenient. He is a loyal subject whose success threatens the very emperor he serves. Emperor Gaozong, a man defined by his fear, listens to Qin Hui's whispers. He fears the Jin, he fears his captured relatives, and now he fears his own beloved, invincible general. A decision is made. While Yue Fei is planning his final assault on Kaifeng, a messenger arrives from the capital. He carries a small golden plaque, an imperial dispatch. The order is simple. Cease all operations, return to the capital immediately. Yue Fei is devastated. He writes a desperate plea to the throne. The 10 years of effort are about to be destroyed in a single day. The land we have regained will be lost again. The people will suffer. This cannot be. His plea is ignored. One by one, more golden plaques arrive, each one more urgent than the last. In a short span, it is said that 12 golden plaques are sent, each a direct, undeniable order from the emperor himself. The army is in turmoil. His generals beg him to defy the order. They know what this means. We have fought to this point. The emperor is misguided. We can take Kaifeng on our own. Here, Yue Fei faces his impossible choice. He is a brilliant general, and he knows he can win the war. But he is also a loyal subject, bound by the oath Jinzhong Baoguo. His loyalty is to the country, and in the system of his time, the emperor is the country. To defy the emperor would be treason. It would make him a warlord, the very thing he has fought against. It would violate the 4 characters on his back. With a heavy heart that history can still feel, Yue Fei makes his choice. He will obey. He turns his army south. The soldiers weep. The people of the reclaimed territories wail in the streets, clinging to his horse, begging him not to abandon them. Yue Fei himself is said to have wept. The work of 10 years is destroyed in one morning. The retreat is as orderly as his advance. The Yue Family Army, undefeated by the enemy, marches away from the victory it had earned, recalled by the government it had saved. The Jin commander, Wu Zhu, who had been preparing for his final defeat, could not believe his fortune. The path was clear. The Jin forces simply walked back into the cities that Yue Fei's army had liberated at such great cost. The journey back to Liman was a funeral march for a victory that might have been. Yue Fei knew he was not returning to a hero's welcome. He was returning to a trap. Upon his arrival, he is treated with polite suspicion. He is promoted to a high-ranking position at court, a post with a grand title and 0 military authority. His beloved Yue Family Army is disbanded, its soldiers scattered among other commands. The shield of the song has been disarmed. The spear has been broken. Yue Fei, the warrior, is now a courtier, trapped in the silk-lined rooms of the capital, surrounded by the whispers of those who envied his success and feared his integrity. Qin Hui and his faction now move to the final phase of their plan. They must not only neutralize Yue Fei, they must destroy him. A living Yue Fei is a symbol of resistance, a constant reminder of the victory they had intentionally thrown away. The peace they desire, the Treaty of Shaoxing, requires a final, terrible price. The Jin, it is rumored, have one non-negotiable demand for peace. Yue Fei must be eliminated. Qin Hui begins to weave his web. He finds a subordinate general, a man who had served under Yue Fei, and coerces him into making an accusation. The charge is treason. The accusation is preposterous that Yue Fei, while on the brink of total victory at Yunsheng, had secretly planned to mutiny and march on the capital himself. It is a charge so unbelievable that the entire empire knows it is false. But in the halls of power, truth is often the first casualty. Yue Fei is arrested. His eldest son, Yue Yang, and his most loyal general, Zhang Xin, are arrested with him. They are thrown into the dungeons of the Supreme Court. The hero who had never lost a battle was now a prisoner, facing his final enemy, not a foreign invader, but the corruption of his own state.
The trial of Yue Fei is a dark stain on the annals of the Song dynasty. It is a proceeding built not on evidence, but on insinuation and political necessity. The interrogator, the judge presiding over the case, is a man named He Zhu. He is an ally of Qin Hu, tasked with extracting a confession. Yue Fei is subjected to harsh questioning. They demand he admit to his treasonous injunctions. Yue Fei's response is one of dignified fury. He refuses to confess to a crime he did not commit. Frustrated by the accusations, he tears open his shirt, revealing the tattoo on his back to the court. Jinzhong Bao Go, serve the country with utmost loyalty. He cries out, I have served my emperor with all my heart. I have fought for this land since I was a young man. How can I be a traitor? The court is silent. There is no evidence. There are no witnesses. The charges are vapor. The judge, He Zhu, feeling the pressure from Qin Hu, is at a loss. He reports to the chancellor, there is no proof. The man is innocent. Qin Hu's response is one of history's most chilling phrases. He simply asks, must there be? In Chinese, the phrase is mo shu yu. It is a phrase of ambiguous, terrible power. It can mean, perhaps there is, or it's possible. But its true meaning in this context was, the charge does not need to be proven. It simply is. It is a death sentence, delivered by a grammatical shrug. Even in the corrupt court, many officials are horrified. A respected general, Han Shizong, confronts Qin Hu directly. What is the evidence of Yue Fei's rebellion? Qin Hu gives him the same empty answer, Mo Shu Yu. Han Shizong can only reply, your words, Mo Shu Yu, are not enough to make the world believe you. But it is enough for the emperor. Emperor Gaozong, hidden behind the walls of his palace, gives his silent imperial consent. The treaty with the Jin must be signed. The inconvenient hero must be removed. On the 27th of January, 1142, on the eve of the Chinese New Year, Yue Fei is given the fatal verdict in his prison cell. The method of his end is disputed by history. Some say he was poisoned. Others say he was strangled. The details do not matter. The truth is that his life was taken, not by an enemy on the battlefield, but by the very government he had given his life to protect. He was 39 years old. His son, Yue Yun, and his general, Shang Zhan, meet their end on the same day, their lives extinguished in a public marketplace to serve as a warning. The nation is plunged into a state of stunned grief. The man who was their shield is gone. A prison guard, a man named Wei Xuan, risks his own life to recover Yue Fei's body, secretly burying it by the Qiantong Gate, marking it so that one day the hero's name might be cleared. With Yue Fei gone, Qin Hu's peace is secured. The Treaty of Shaoxing is signed. The Southern Song formally renounces the northern lands. They agree to become a vassal state to the Jin, and they pay a massive annual tribute. The price of peace was the life of their greatest hero and the soul of their nation. Qin Hu gets everything he wanted. He remains chancellor, wielding immense power until his death. But history is long, and its judgment is patient. Emperor Gaozong eventually abdicates the throne. The new emperor, and then his successor, Emperor Shaozong, see the world differently. They had grown up with the legend of Yue Fei. They understand the profound injustice that had been done. In 1162, 2 decades after his passing, Yue Fei is officially posthumously pardoned. His titles are restored. The prison guard, Wei Xuan, now an old man, comes forward and reveals the location of the hero's burial. Yue Fei is exhumed and reburied with the highest honors at a magnificent new tomb complex built on the shore of the West Lake in Hangzhou. His vindication is complete. He is given the posthumous name Wu Mu, meaning martial and steadfast. Later, he is granted the title King of Yi, equal to a prince. And what of his betrayer? History delivers its verdict on Qin Hu as well. Statues are commissioned for Yue Fei's new tomb, but they are not all statues of the hero. At the front of the tomb, facing the general's final resting place, are 4 figures, cast in iron, kneeling. They are Qin Hu, his wife Lady Wang, and the 2 officials who helped orchestrate the false charges. They are forced to kneel in eternal shame, bearing the condemnation of a nation for all time. Today, Yue Fei's tomb is a sacred site, but his legacy is far greater than stone. He is perhaps the most revered hero in Chinese history. Temples are built in his honor. Operas and stories tell his tale. He is worshipped as a guardian deity, a protector of the people. He became the ultimate symbol of Sheng, of loyalty. But his is a complex loyalty. It is not a blind obedience to a flawed ruler, but a higher loyalty to the idea of the nation, to the people, to the land, and to the principles of justice. His story is a profound tragedy, a warning about how jealousy, fear, and political corruption can destroy the very best of a nation. But his end is not his legacy. His legacy is the Yue Family Army that proved that an army can be both strong and compassionate. His legacy is the oath on his back, Qin Zhong Bao Gu, a motto that has inspired countless generations. His legacy is his unbending integrity. In a world of compromise, he was a man who would not break. He was a general who was undefeated in battle, but who showed his greatest strength in his final, tragic choice, to sacrifice his life rather than sacrifice his honor. Yue Fei, the man, was lost to the shadows of the court. But Yue Fei, the legend, became an immortal beacon, a guiding star of loyalty that shines forever in the vast mythic mundi of our shared history. What story of loyalty, sacrifice, or legendary history would you like us to explore next? Comment below and let us know. And if you found this journey into the past meaningful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. It helps our channel continue to bring these timeless stories to light. Thank you for joining us on Mythic Mundi.